Good morning, good morning. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing out there? Peasant Chat, we talk to poor people on Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m., just to get things started. Today, we're going to talk about ICE, immigrations, customs, whatever the fuck enforcement. They raided a automotive battery manufacturing facility that was being constructed in Georgia. Hyundai. So Hyundai was building a battery plant in Georgia. And ICE must have been investigating this place. It is September, so they must have been investigating this since like early March or something like that, because the staging that took place in order to bust this place was pretty impressive. And I'll show you some video that ICE actually put out there. And it kind of brought me to this thought process of the green scandal money that is still floating out there. A lot of people need to understand that these automobile manufacturers are still operating under the last administration's, I say, leftovers. They still probably are in the middle of building a plant that was negotiated, that was mandated, that was suggested to be built by the previous administration, and you just can't stop that kind of process. So we'll talk about how many people they busted, but there's a wrinkle to this story specifically that made me kind of go, that is interesting. I did not expect the people that were busted to be where they were from, but it kind of makes sense because it's Hyundai, and that's going to be most of the stuff we'll talk about. We'll talk about that, peasant questions, anything else you want to talk about today on today's Peasant Chat, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck. It's a crazy day. Hopefully it doesn't rain today so I can get out and do shit. It's been raining all week. PMAS. James and PMAS. The best cold door intake and MAF sensors on the planet. If you are a person that has a MAF equipped vehicle and you need the best signal, the best airflow, the best everything for the MAF equipped vehicle, PMAS, Nick James and PMAS are the people you should look at if you want to get fat and potentially sniff her lotion, her booty, or her feet. You get yourself an order from Oh My God Cookies, ohmygodcookies.com. Edible dough, cookies, diabetes, James and Melissa making the best cookies out there. Funny names, check them out. ohmygodcookies.com, DNA Performance, DNAperformance.com. Injectors, fuel systems, anything you can get. Wheels, tires, turbo kits, supercharger kits, YDBT at checkout. You might get a bit of a discount. Check them out, DNAHighPerformance.com, PartsFarm.com. Use Mustang, Camaro, F-150, Challenger, Charger parts. If you want a pull-out, a Hellcat motor, Hellcat SRTs, you know what, pull up on me. Hit up PartsFarm.com. Two Auto Solution, Rami's Dead on Auto Solution. There's a big exodus happening at Puerto Rico. All the poor people are leaving and the rich people are staying. So that means Rami Zaidan will have business forever. And Belak Industries, that's right, Belak Industries. He goes fast in his boat, makes the coolest looking wheels for drag setups, street setups. He is in Miami. Damian Borrato. It is Caleb backwards. Check him out. We also want to thank richprince.com/YDBT. If you want to support the show and you want merchandise to go along with that support, you can get yourself hats, Amory, YDBT, Amory and YDBT Trucker, Dolo, YDBT and Amory Flat Brim, Shiesty, from when you want to stick up somebody and let them know that you are an Amory member, Section 8 shirts and hoodies, Hush Money shirts and hoodies, ZR50 shirts and hoodies, Booty Juice shirts and hoodies, Elote Juice shirts and hoodies, Save the Manuals Gen 1, 2, 3, GT350, 85 to 86, 87 to 93, 1320 Didios, F1320, YDBT Vertical, YDBT Horizontal, YDBT hoodies, and long sleeve shirts for the up and coming cold season. Did they get rid of these stickers? No, they got stickers in here. Yeah, there we go. They got a whole, dude, they got a Booty Juice decal? Man, I love you guys. You guys are great. You guys just make the products people want. This is so silly. What the hell have we built here? Huh? And also, if you want to talk some shit with like-minded people or check chats, go to the Patreon site. We got Peasant Chat, YDBT Chat, Tech Chat, Show Us Your Build, Dating Channel, Sell Your Stuff, Plug Your Business, and Pew Pew Chat. Good times there. If you have any issues, after hours support, stuff like that, the guys in there know their shit. The guys in there aren't duds. They are like probably the best collection of people that are in the know, probably on the internet. Monty 540, Rizzy, Jeremy Smith, Clint Stroke, RPG GT, Cornfred, 10R80, Valley 10 Speed, Tracul, Redbird, Joe Jackson, Dirt Story, CPR, Andrew, Clean 93 GT, I'm Hung So Low, Dirt Story, Joe Swish, John Bonanno, JD Swag, thank you very much. Bryson putting up the links, Joshua Judd, D-Rock Fox, Matt Oliver, Big Guns, TJ Sikorsky, 1Slow50, my god, this thing flew. Mercury Motorsports, meaning by Madman Gurry, Upfits, Nardi Mercado, Coyote Field, Nardi Mercado putting up a link about us talking about old pump gears. You know what's crazy? These TikTokers and YouTubers, not YouTubers, mostly TikTokers and IG, they're basically regurgitating what we've been saying for 10 years. It's pretty crazy. Like, they're like, you know what's the worst Mustang ever? And they've never owned anything but one Mustang. I'm like, boy, shut up. Scott Andrews, JD Swag, Revit Racing, Jeffrey, Diego, excuse me, Mark Christensen, Takul, Killshot Racing. What's up, Killshot? We got to tune your nitrous car. I hate nitrous. You'll see. You'll see when your knock sensors go to 10 on a 200 shot, you're going to go, now I know why Alex hates nitrous on Coyotes. We basically got to shut everything off and pray everything lives. Minibag, Merv Jones, Jeffrey Catalano, Joseph Lacey, Killshot Racing, The White M3 Comp, Josh Roy, Ted Diaz, Midnight, Big Block, EPA, Richie Rich, Bowman, Beetle P. Cody Lewis, Jared Wells, how you doing, brother? 50 Stallion, Cody Lewis, Yonik, Dave Vernon, Miles, Eurotrips and Rides, Connor, and all the usual suspects. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me on a peasant chat. Just put your name up there so you can see it. Craig Walls, Billet Noonan himself. Any racing going on? I'm sure there's a bunch of race prep going on up that way. This story really tripped me the fuck out. Okay, because it kind of has to do with cars. It has to do with the green news scam. But this one is interesting. NPR, which I don't like NPR. Is there another? Reuters? Yeah. South Korean president vows support to Koreans arrested in U.S. immigration raid. That's right. The plant that was hit was a battery plant that for Hyundai owned. And they arrested over 300 South Koreans. That's right. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement saying ICE special agents in collaboration with federal, state, and local law enforcement partners executed a federal search warrant at a company on September 4th as part of an active ongoing criminal investigation. This operation specifically focused on a serious allegation of unlawful employment practices and other potential federal crimes. As a result of the initial investigation, 475 individuals were detained. The coordinated action brought together the blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. The individuals arrested during the operation were found to be working illegally in violation of the terms of their visas and or people on short-term recreational visas not authorized to work in the U.S. A green card holder from Mexico was arrested after being determined to be removable from the U.S. based on multiple criminal convictions. Big surprise. Green card holders can be removed from the U.S. Blah, 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 blah. So the amount of South Koreans that were detained were over 300. Now look at this. This is a video that ICE put out there. Pretty crazy. Remember, the amount of coordination that needs to happen to hit up a place is pretty crazy. Yo, they got a TRX? They got a Hyundai. Yo, they got a...
in position, north side.
So basically, they went in there and shut the whole motherfucker down. And you could see that there's a bunch of Korean fellas out there getting hit up. Who's got the dumper, though? Damn. It's not good. So a whole bunch of Asian dudes were hit up. So I started going, wait a minute. You busted a battery plant being built by Hyundai, because it was in the middle of being built, and 300 South Koreans were there, and now the president of South Korea is like, whoa, let's set up a charter to bring them home. Let's not put them in American jails, because you know what happens in American jails, blah, 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 but they're in detention facilities, not necessarily jails. So I thought to myself, wait a minute, is this leftover green scam money, right? Leftover green scam money, meaning money that was being used to wash and then being put back into other people's pockets as an agenda. And then Hyundai, I'm sure, was trying to onshore some of their manufacturing, and they onshored their actual labor. So I'm going, wow, this is one of those things where the United States government is justified in seizing that company, that plant. Hear me out. I'm not advocating for the government to take shit like that, but if a outside company onshores jobs so that they can get away from a tariff or something like that, but they also onshore their labor, that is, and it is 100% illegal, that's one of those things where you could say, oh, this plant's mine. Because what you've done, if you've circumvented, I don't know, 10,000 laws. Now, Hyundai, to their credit or to their defense, they said, these are subcontractors. This has nothing to do with us. We were not directly employing these people. Yes, you were. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a politician and you want to run for government one day. And you say, you know what? I have a house. I don't have time to take care of the land and all this stuff and cutting the grass and maintaining it. Let me subcontract this work out. When you subcontract something out, it is up to you to make sure that person is licensed, their employees are here legally, because the last thing you want to do, especially if you want to go into politics, is say that you've hired illegals, regardless if they were subcontracted or not. I worked for a subcontractor in the millwright field. Here we go again with the bullshit, right? Every single time they subcontracted out any work, I had to go through a vetting process, especially if it was government work. For example, I had to go to Logan International Airport in Boston, and I had to fix a heater pump in the tower. Before I even stepped into the facility, I had to get my fingerprints. I had to get my name cleared. I had to go through crazy background checks, and I had to have a special badge that says I've gone through this vetting process to be able to go in there. Now, Hyundai, obviously they're not a government entity, but if they came onto the United States soil under the auspice or under the thought process of, let me get away from tariffs, let me build my batteries here so that we can get away from tariffs, and you're going to sell at the hottest market, which is the U.S. market. The U.S. market, you're 100% going to sell the most product anywhere ever. We are a consumer market. We're not necessarily manufacturing big time. Again, you onshored these people. So now, I don't know if you understand what indentured servitude is, but a lot of these places, even subcontractors, let's bring it down to a micro level. Let's say, have you ever been to a massage parlor? I know, here we go, rub and tugs. But let's be honest. Have you ever gone to a massage parlor and you notice everyone's Asian? You ever gone to like a petty mani with your girlfriend, or you paid for it and you were just there waiting for her to get it done, and everyone there is Asian? And don't you notice something about everyone there? Everyone looks sad. It's almost like they are under the thumb of the company, and you have to work for them for a certain amount of time before you can actually pay back your debt. So let's say, for example, the subcontractors for Hyundai, pure speculation, said, hey, we'll bring you here under a student visa, visitor visa, or whatever. We'll give you a job. We'll keep it under the table. But you got to work for us for 5 years. For a very minimal fee. We'll pay your housing, we'll give you a stipend, we'll give you a bit of food money, but at the end of the day, it's going to be favorable to us as the company because we're helping you get set up in the US with a visa that isn't a work visa. And then after that 5 years is paid off, you can go ahead and do your own thing, get your green card, and be a United States citizen. That's it. That's simply what happens at a lot of these massage parlors, these petty mani places, all these places where you have like one race of people. Usually the company sponsors them to come here and to get them set up. So Hyundai is in a bit of trouble, in my opinion. I think Hyundai is going to end up probably paying a big price, or they're going to negotiate something with the government of South Korea to be like, shit, we fucked up, we got caught, blah, blah, blah. Now, in that video, I didn't show you the whole video. There's actually a little funny part. There's a funny part to that video where when they went to the raids, some guys just jumped in a pond and they're like, man, we ain't going to get caught, man. Watch. Mira, güey, la DEA se tiró aquí. Oye, esto está de madre. Damn. He just jumped in the water. He's like, you gotta come and get me, man. Damn, puro pinche 956. I don't want to go puro pinche 956 a la verga.
Pinche 956 a la...
Anyway, so yeah, he just jumped in the water and was like, fuck all that. So it started making me think how much green money is out there still where people are taking this big of risk to make money. And like, I think there's a lot of dirty money still floating out there. Like once the US cut off USAID and all the other things, you started seeing like these riots calm down. You don't see the summer of love happening anymore. So I wonder what money was being washed through where, through what green energy scam deal. And Hyundai is a great example. 300 plus South Korean people in one location in Georgia at a battery plant all got scooped up and left. And Hyundai was like, they were subcontractors, had nothing to do with us. So it started making me think, is there not enough money in that? Is there just not enough money in manufacturing in the United States in order for companies to say we're still solvent? So I looked up really quickly in terms of manufacturing or assembly line work. Put on the chat. Let me ask you guys a question. Put on the chat how much an assembly line worker should be making in the United States if they're doing one repetitive job for 8 hours a day and 3 breaks, meaning you show up at 8 o'clock, at 10 o'clock you get a break, 15-minute break. At 12 o'clock you get a half-hour lunch. At 2:45 or 3 or 2, you get another break. And then at 3:30 or 4 o'clock, you go home. How much money should an American make at an assembly line that does that type of work? Let me know, guys. We'll put it on the chat. Joe Swish, $50,000 no hire. Exoskeleton or not? No exoskeleton, because the exoskeleton brings the cost up considerably. The battery, the technology, all that stuff. $25 an hour. They had a Cedar X. They were literally $25 an hour, 50 to 55, 45,000 an hour. Coyote Kelly and Oscar, you guys have no heart. Holy shit, $9 an hour, $12 an hour. McDonald's people make $20 an hour. Amir Zahir, 50,000 a year. Bulkhead, 20 to 25, 20. So the prevailing wage thought process, great job, guys. By the way, you and I absolutely think exactly alike. Assembly line work or production work should be no higher than $55,000 a year. No higher. For you to have a $55,000 a year, I think it should be 45 to 50 or 52 starting. And that is just, you are there assembling stuff every day. Why? It's not a skill job. It is a labor job. It's 100% labor. It is we are paying for your body to do something. You are not thinking. You are not doing anything. The thinking has been done by the engineer and the people that designed the system. So you just go clunk, 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 boom, 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 move it on to the next one all day, every day, for whatever. Now, if you're one of those people that will never move on from that job, you should not get paid more than that. Meaning, if your mental capacity is such that you do not thrive or strive for betterment, you don't apply for an internal position, let's say in maintenance, you don't apply for a supervisory position, you don't have the mental will or capacity to move up the ladder, you should not be owed $30, $40, $50 an hour. You should not be making $80,000 a year or $100,000 a year at an assembly line, regardless of how much time you've been there. The incentive to get the fuck out of there is the lack of pay. The incentive to get into it is steady pay. So if you're a kid out of high school, 19, 18 years old, and you're like, I don't mind making $50,000 a year for 2 years until I figure shit out, 3 years, get in there, hammer it out. By the time you're 21, you're like, you know what? Maybe I can apply for this maintenance position internally, and you have an internal application process, and you show that you're worth it. Then you get your own raise. So I'm wondering, why are companies taking the risk of getting popped like that by hiring, even if subcontracted, a bunch of illegal workers? It kind of does blow my mind, and I'm blown away that a lot of people are willing to take that risk, because I'm telling you, maybe the unions, and again, I'm not anti-union per se. I am anti-union corruption. I am anti-union gouging, because at the end of the day, unions want union fees, then they get power that way. I think a job pay should be literally what it's worth. Like if you worked at McDonald's and you worked in the kitchen and you, for 1 year, figured everything out back there, and then one day you want to become store manager and you apply for it and you get it, and then maybe in 3 years you apply for some kind of regional stuff, or you can say, let me buy this chain out, let me buy this franchise, this particular location. I understand that thought process, but if you're one of those guys, you're like, I'm going to be here for 20 years putting bumpers on F-150s and I should get paid a 15% raise to the end of life, I think you're fucking psycho. And I don't know what's wrong with you, but you need to get, you are not owed anything because you have time in, okay? It's the job that you're doing. So I think a lot of green money is still kind of like surrounding the automotive industry. There are still plants being built. And unless the government steps in and says, if this plant was put together under the green new energy deal scam, I think they should cancel half of these contracts and then really do some scrutinizing as to who they have employing these people, because I think Hyundai did that just to save money because they subcontracted everything out. Hyundai obviously doesn't have a union here. The UAW isn't in there. UAW isn't in the battery shit yet. So that's why they did that, and they were able to get away with that. But you saw that ICE wasn't fucking around. They're paying attention. So you're going to start seeing, maybe, believe it or not, higher paying jobs for Americans so that they can get, let's just say, favor with this administration that definitely prioritizes American people working in America and paying a decent wage. And maybe that'll skirt the, let's get a bunch of Koreans here from a Korean manufacturer and potentially getting popped and having a lot of bad press around that whole situation. I work at a tiny factory in the Midwest, and our assembly people make $21 an hour and get the IBEW union benefits. That to me is great. If you're a small factory in the Midwest, you have union representation, you're making $21 an hour, and you are happy making $44,000 a year. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you're owed. But if you come from the thought process of, man, I've been here 5 years, I should be making 60. This isn't a livable wage. Yes, it is. When I worked for VMP, I made no more than $50,000 a year. I was able to afford a Hyundai Genesis, a souped up Mustang, and rent in Florida on my own. Now, what did I say to myself about making money? I'm like, well, I'm not going to make money in this company, but I'm going to use this company to make money on YouTube. So when I was on the dynoing a car, I videoed it. When I was at an event, and I videoed it because I'm like, this place ain't going to make me money from this place. So I'm going to make my own money on the side. And I was able to parlay that to a livable wage and still be able to, have some toys and, sustain myself. But I wasn't sitting there going, y'all need to pay me more money because I've been here. No, I was there 2 years and I saw the future. There is no money here. So I got my own raise by going over to Lund Racing. They said, hey, you're willing to come back? And I'm like, does a bear shit in the woods? Does Howdy Doody have a wooden dick? I'm 39, but when I was 18, I worked at an air conditioner factory making $10 an hour. Now in 2025, I think 15 to 18 an hour is fair. It was a terrible job. I worked at a candle company. I worked as a millwright. That sucked. I worked as a, what do you call them? Connectors. As electrical connectors in a manufacturing plant. Hollingsworth and Vose, I think it was called. It was awful. Awful job. I was making $20 an hour there. And then I said, I got to get out of this shit. So you got to have like the wherewithal, or at least the thought process of like, I want to make more money. But a lot of people, especially the assembly plants with the exoskeletons, think that they're owed this money. Well, guess what? Companies get desperate. And Hyundai probably got desperate. And they're like, okay, I guess we'll bring in a bunch of Koreans down here and figure that shit out. And ICE busted all of them. That is going to be a stain on their reputation for a really, really long time. Your first position in a field like that is to get your foot in the door. Most companies have internal preference on all higher positions for that reason. I'm union, and they absolutely protect these lazy fucks, says Mercury Motorsports. It gets frustrating. Then you're the bad guy for complaining about a fellow union brother. Nah, fuck that. If you're lazy, get the fuck out. Ford, unfortunately, has a lot of leftover green money, meaning green scam money. They're still going full bore 100% on EV stuff. I don't mind that. But you're starting to blur the line of what you are. Are you a company trying to beat China? Why would you want to compare yourself to a communist state? Why would you want to compare yourself to a country that owns all this stuff? It's all communist, it's all owned by China government one way or the other. So a lot of people are like, "Well, China's beating us." China is whatever. So then what's going to happen is Ford is going to try to compete against China. You cannot compete against a country that has 1 billion slaves and companies owned by China, by the state itself. You cannot compete because they can put out cars that are electric, better, cheaper, because the wages are basically slave wages, and you're going to try to compete against that in an American market. No, you just do what Trump does. You say, if you want to sell that car in the United States, not the consumer, the company or the country has to absorb the tariff. Oh, that's not how it works. Yes, it is. Mercedes-Benz is a great example. A lot of people were like, Trump is making it terrible to own a car because tariffs. BMW raised prices. All these overseas companies raise prices. Well, bring your factory to the United States, build it here, and sell it here to get away from the tariffs, right? But Mercedes did something smart. They absorbed the tariff. They're like, now we'll eat it. We're not going to give the end user another $5,000 bill. We're going to eat it. And that is how it's supposed to be. That is the reason tariffs exist. So that the companies, like if you want to do business in the United States and you don't make anything in the United States, you got to pay a tariff. And all of a sudden, some companies are literally paying the tariff or absorbing the tariff. But a lot of people don't know how tariffs work. They think, well, the customer's just going to get charged more if the company selling that product does not want to absorb the tariff. So what you do is don't buy that. Real simple. Fuck us on the oil rig fuck us on the oil rigs making over $100,000 and only work half of the year. Whoever signs Shelby's name on the dash should get $100,000 a year. Tech Talk Tuesday, where did that go? Tech Talk Tuesday? What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, are you talking about VMP? Just got put on salary 40 an hour, guaranteed 40 a week. HVAC down here in South Florida. 40 an hour. Let's do some math. So 40 times 50 times 52. Sorry, 40 times 40 times 52. So you make a bazillion dollars apparently. $83,000 a year. $83,200 a year. Good based on a 40-hour work week. That's great. That is in Florida, easily afford rent a house, maybe not, depending on where you are. Maybe if you're in the middle, like Okeechobee or Vero or some shit like that. Yeah, sure. But I'm telling you, like, that's great money. So I'm blown away that people, think that $40,000 a year isn't a lot of money. I'm like, okay, so how much is rent? Let's say in Dearborn, Michigan, right? Let's say you're in Dearborn, Michigan. Rent is probably $1,500 to $1,700. If you make $25 an hour, you can easily afford rent, a car payment, and you still have 2 checks to fuck with. I did it. I did it for many years. $50,000 isn't a livable wage. Meanwhile, they have $60,000 in student debt and loans, $700 a month car payment, and spend $1,500 a month on eating out and bullshit. Nobody owes you a livable wage. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you a job. If you work at Starbucks and you're mad that you're not making a livable wage, well, what should I pay a person that puts coffee together? What should I work? And then they get mad because you don't give them tips or whatever. What is your value? You're a coffee maker. I mean, there are some machines that can take your job, right? Cream, sugar, some foam, some bullshit cinnamon on top. I'll do that myself. You usually fuck it up. Nobody owes you a livable wage ever. So I'm blown away. People, it's not a livable wage. What's a livable wage? Where are you? What do you mean? Like, okay, how per month? How many times do you guys buy coffee per month? I buy coffee 3 times a week. Each coffee is, let's say, $5. That's $60 a month or so on just coffee. Like that, people like, well, oh yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't, think a livable wage is vacations to Cancun. Vacation. the plant they raided wasn't even open yet. Exactly. It wasn't even open, but they found out through a big investigation that, hey, you guys are importing in a bunch of South Koreans that don't have work visas. This is weird. And I think Hyundai was desperate to get everything going. And I don't understand what kind of workers they had going in there. You're telling me the subcontractors could not find American, or maybe they didn't want to pay the Americans basic minimum wage. And again, that's why I mentioned the indentured servitude, like the people that are massaging your feet, the people that are doing your nails, the people that are doing petty manis, the people that are working in these parlors or companies that the company basically owns the person. It's illegal, but they basically own the person and they pay them basically nothing. And the payment for that, the reason that person is working at that place is so that they can live in the U.S., and you got to work there for 5 years. And after the 5 years, you're free and clear. Obviously, that's illegal, but I'm thinking that's what was happening over there in the Hyundai plant. I'm on SSDI, and with that, a very limited part-time job. I made $32,000 last year without the additional income. It was worse. I feel like a fucking baller by comparison. Now, you can get by okay. I don't know what happened there. Get two $50,000 a year jobs and bam, $100,000 a year. I've been a drywall finisher for 20 years now. Started unit and haven't been since 2011. Best decision ever made. Stuck with 40 an hour, making $1,100. There is no overtime ever. Sixuki, Port St. Lucie, perfect. I live in Oregon. My gross seems livable, but my take home is 8 after taxes. $100,000 oil rig. My local Department of Public Works guys make $100,000 a year. But that's not. That's like a mathematical fallacy. Like, how can you, it's government money. Like the tax revenue coming in has to pay that employee. Why are they making $100,000 a year? Yeah, this tipping on every place you get food from. Tipping culture could be its own episode. It's getting out of hand. Yeah, that's the problem. The tipping culture. And so they're preying on your emotion. How is the service? The same it is every day. Why would I need to pay you an extra $1 or $2 when you did your job? You're getting paid per hour. It's not like you're a server, right? Like when you work at a Starbucks, you don't get server pay. I totally understand a server at a Texas Roadhouse or a Smoky Bones or any restaurant that gets paid shit money, like a base, and then they live off of tips. And I tip okay. I tip 20%, and if they're really good, a little more. But I'm not psychotic. I don't have that kind of money. I did not win the Powerball. Obviously, if I would have won the Powerball, you would have never seen me again. Bye. See ya. It's called living below your means. I never had an issue personally, and I can't remember the last time I stopped at a coffee shop or ate out. Been an adult. I do it often because I can, and I want to cook. Believe it or not, when you actually go to the grocery store, depending on the grocery store, obviously, and you buy the groceries, by the time you bring them here, use the electricity, prep time, then the water to wash the dishes and all this, you're like, it's cheaper to eat out. If you're one person. If you're a family, completely different subject matter, right? If you got a family of 5, let's say, you, your wife, and your 3 stupid fucking kids, and you want to go to, I don't know, Yard House. It's $130, $150 for one meal. Meaning one meal that day. If you're a single guy and you want to go out there and grab a steak and sweet potato and something, that's what? $23? $28? Tops? Stop it. So true. Too many people want tips. Being a non-union full-time, not on-source deductions, now I can work as many hours as I want. Many times as I get double bubble at 8 for 6. Now I can creep on $200,000 a year, but I work those hours. 66 this week. Right, unions probably limit how much you can make, how many hours you can work, because they're like, oh, you're overworking the employee. I used to love working on Thanksgiving, Christmas, July 4th at power plants. Double time and a half for a shutdown. Give me that shit. Give me that shit. Double time and a half? The union would have said, no, you already worked 50 hours this week. They're going to work you to the bone. Give me 60 hours. Well, you're going to pay too much. Not now that there's no tax on overtime. Woo! There's no tax on overtime. I mean, did it go through? No tax on over. Starting in the 2025 tax year, there will be a federal income tax deduction for a portion of overtime pay, but it is not entirely tax-free. The new rule is part of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, signed into law in July. Only half portion of the time and a half overtime can be deducted from your federal taxable income. Only half? The deduction is capped at $12,500 for single filers and $25,000 for those who are married and filing jointly. The tax rate begins to phase out for single filers, and with a modified adjusted gross income of $150,000, $300,000 for married couples, this deduction is set to last from 2025 to 2028. What is still taxed? Even with the new deductions, other taxes still apply for your full overtime earnings. Federal payroll taxes, state and local taxes, no change. Okay, so 2025 is the wash, and you will make more money per overtime, but it's not fully tax-free. Okay, so maybe that was a bit of a language bullshit that they did to sell the bill. But you keep more of your money based on what they said there. I didn't care. Oh, it's, those guys that did that fuzzy math. No, I don't want to pay more. I don't want to work more than 10 hours overtime because every hour overtime after that's not. Shut up. I want to make a $2,000 paycheck this week. How many hours I got to work? 65. Let's go. I agree with Murky. Unions are great, but they protect a lot of lazy fucks. We're $64.89 an hour. A lot of guys are paycheck to paycheck, but they turn around and say can't work overtime. Hilarious. How the freaking hell? $64 an hour? And guys, if you have a $64 an hour job and you live paycheck to paycheck, you need an absolute class in saving money and paring down your expenditures. Even the self-service kiosk has a tip. Could you imagine? Who are you tipping? The robot? It's fine if you can afford it, by all means, enjoy it. I'm saying if you can complain about being broke and eat out constantly and stop at coffee stands every day, then shut the fuck up. Smoking. How many of y'all out there smoke weed? How many times a week do you smoke weed? How expensive is it to... I don't even know how they sell it anymore. Drinking. How many times a week do you drink? Guys, I was on a date a year and a half ago. Half of the bill was her drinks. Never again. That taught me a lesson. I'm like, you can pay for this? She looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, Alex, it's okay. It's an education. Oh, now I understand why people are broke. Because they go out drinking. Each drink is $11 or $12. So if you have 6 of them, that's damn near $80-something plus a tip. That's $100 just in your drinks. So stupid. With all of our unit, all holidays are 2.5. Christmas and Christmas Eve are 3.5. Brother, give me that shit. 65 hours this week. My job pays okay, but they don't even give out overtime. So it's lame. I think it's capped. Yeah, it is capped. I always do double time and a half. It's capped. You can write off vehicle loan interest now too. Oh, baby. It will have to be done on your tax returns, I believe. That's okay. I got all that documentation. Every year I have to spend $60,000 or more on car shit so that I don't pay the government $25,000. Yeah, it is. It can only be tax-free up until $12,500. I think it's at the end of the year. You need a divorce if that's happening. Got it. It's free when you grow it. I don't respect it at all. Anyone that smokes, I don't respect it at all. Fuck you. There's no reason to do it. Unless you're dying of some kind of weird cancer and it hurts. Smoke away. But if you're an able-bodied human between the ages of 18 to 55, fuck you. 0 weed, truck driver, good for you. 6 drink. Cody, she drank 11 drinks. I told you the story on the dating channel. 11 drinks. Did I tell you the story? I'm at it. The mushroom girl. If you make $64 an hour and you still live check to check, you need to put the crack pipe down. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of addiction, or they bought a $125,000 lifted dually. That's usually what happens. Cutting out drinking really changed things for me. Feel way less fat and get some extra change in my pocket. Tuition, exactly, it's tuition. I learned something that day. I'm like, nope, fuck that. When it goes like, can I have a drink? I'm like, a drink. Or anything above and beyond one drink, it's on you. We agree? What? Did you come here for a drink? Because if I'm paying for these drinks, this dick is getting sucked tonight. If I'm paying for more than one drink, blowjob. At least. And then the rest is up to me. Oh, yes, Coyote. Yeah. It was not good. Had a fake ass, fake everything. She it was like that movie in, it was like that scene in, I'm gonna get you, sucker. Is that the name of the movie? I'm gonna get you, sucker. Yes. Watch this movie, guys. It's so bad. It's so bad it's good. I'm gonna get you, sucker. Please do it. A 1988 comedy from the Wayans brothers. It's tough to be a black hero. I'm gonna get you, sucker. There's a scene in the movie where he brings a girl home from the bar because she told him that she wanted 12 inches. She goes, you know what I want? 12 inches. And he's like, yeah, I totally got that. Let's go. So they go home. They go to the hotel or home or whatever. And he's like, I got to tell you. So they're sitting at the edge of the bed. And she's ready to see this anaconda. So she's like, so I'm ready to see this. He's like, I got to tell you something. I don't have 12 inches. And it's like, she's like, well, that's okay. You see these eyelashes? They're not mine. She goes, you see this hair? It's not mine. And then she goes, you see this leg? And she pops it out. It's not much. And she's hopping around. And she's like, oh, you still want to bang? And he left. Good stuff. You bang Silicone Sally? Hell no, Alex. Chill swish. It's Miami. They're all Silicone Sally. There is a thing called the Miami belly button. Nardi Mercado, tell everyone where the Miami belly button is located. Where do you think the Miami belly button is located? Bro, if you look up the Miami belly button, it's wild. It's almost 200,000, but in Canadian, so like $10 USD. Union NPC logic is I'm not working more than 37 and a half hours unless it's double. Me making money logic. So you're saying I can work 66 hours at 52 an hour? Giddy up. Was this the Cuban chick or Colombian? Cuban chick. They're all Cuban down there. I work in a courthouse with 43 judges. You would not believe the amount of people going to court to walk in smelling like weed. Crazy that some of the judges put up with it. Their story says, also, Alex and JD Swag will attest, 200,000 Canadian a year in Ontario is not what many think. I don't know. I've cleared good money down here. And listen. If over $150,000 a year, I am able to afford, listen up, guys, 6 cars, 3 of them are race cars, and 2 are street cars. And yeah, like, but I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party, So what are you doing? And my rent is over $2,000 a month. And I have 3 garages, soon to be 4, because someone's moving. I'm like, hell yeah, give me that garage. So I don't understand when people are like, well, I make over $150,000 a year, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I still have a savings account and a 401k. Again, the not drinking really, and no drugs, because who drinks and smokes on the chat? Make a mental note how much you spend a month on drink and smoke and put it on the chat. I bet you it's over 1,000. Is that the one with Show Enough? Yes. No, that's The Last Dragon. Oh, fuck you. No. The Last Dragon. How dare you confuse black movies? The Last Dragon was the one where, who's the master? Show Enough? Yeah, The Last Dragon. It's so bad. This is like probably the worst movie, but I was like 8 when it came out. So I was like, hell yeah. I thought my hands could glow. Like, what? Oh man, to be a kid again. I'm gonna get you, sucker. You dirty mother. Don't you say that. 12 inches and make it hurt. Yeah, so you fucked her 3 times and you punched her in the face. Like, she said, give me 12 inches and make it hurt. So I fucked her 3 times and punched her in the back of the head. That's funny. That's a great joke. Now it seems normal for people just to smoke weed in public and make everyone smell it. When I see somebody smoking weed publicly in front of a building so that when people are coming in and out, I say something. I'm at that age. I understand why old guys don't give a fuck. They'll go right up to you and be like, you stupid, filthy, shut up. I'm not doing that. You know why? You stop giving a fuck. The older you get, your fucks are gone. So I remember I'd walked in here one time, and there was a guy on the steps smoking weed. And I said, you could smoke anywhere here. But why in the stairwell, where it emanates through the whole fucking thing? My bad, dog. My bad. Went to where the fuck? And I'm like, oh my God. I could do that? I could just tell people shit and they'll do it? Because what's the alternative? Are we fighting? I'm not looking to fight, but 3,000, but I'm rich. Maybe 25 a month on drinks. But you liar. You liar. You still got that cute blonde chick? No way you probably spend 250 a month on drinks. Alex renting all the empty garages. Nardi Mercado, tell us what you don't know. Yeah. Yo, the Miami belly button is by her chin. Let me look up the Miami belly button. You know what? She's like, ¿de qué tú hablas? The Miami belly button is gross. So, images. Usually the Miami belly button is a tummy tuck, right? So, there it is. Vomitar. So, apparently in Miami, I'm trying to picture that doesn't show like tits and ass. Okay, this is just belly buttons. Are you guys ready to date in Miami? Eso. That's the Miami belly button right there. Basically, you had a couple kids, your belly stretched out, so there's some doctor down there is like, yeah, let's stretch you out. And you see this big scar right here? This is where women put a big stupid tattoo like vines or like, you know, some kind of whatever. But that's the Miami belly button. Basically a stretched out, and nothing gets you on soft faster than seeing that. And you, whoa, that girl looks great in pants. And nope, this is awful. And you know what? After this chick was 11 drinks in, and I'm looking at her culo, and I'm like, ese culo es de embuste. Ese culo es de embuste. Pero se lo voy a meter porque ya gasté $100 en bebida. And then tú bajas los pantalones and you're like, diablo. But luckily, I played in the minor leagues. Luckily, I've seen the changeup, and don't get out on your front foot, Alex. Wait on it. Stay on keep your weight on the back. No problem. No, I've done it all. So cuando vi ese culo de embuste, I'm like, se lo meto. I importa. $100. Look, the worst thing that could happen in history is for prostitution to become legal. Why date? Why date? You mean $100? I could get everything, and I don't gotta feed you, listen to your bullshit, compliment your dream catcher tattoo on the back of your neck. Oh, is that another dream catcher tattoo? Oh, is that another dream catcher? Stupid. Yes, they put a tattoo vein like vines over it. Bro, they made a show called NIP Truck based in Miami. Cosmetic surgeons, real talk. Nip tuck. Keep clothes on nasty. She look like me. Toronto's fucked up, bro. Shaq is $1 million. Alex is the Wade Boggs of smashing minor leagues. Torta. I mean, you name it. You gotta be able to say, this bat is going to work at all levels. At all levels, this bat is going to work. I've done the work. That shit look like a stank. Bro. So I guess BBLs have a smell to them. Yes, Ryan, Mercedes is going to use it. That boots like a scooter, fun to ride, but don't tell your friends you rode it. Right? The baseball reference. This show would be a hell of a lot more interesting if Alex had a body cam. I told you about that story. I told you about the Mushroom Girl story. Just go to the dating channel and type in Mushroom Girl story. 10 drinks down. I'm like, vamos a meter, ¿verdad? Yeah, no, I know, Mercury. Sorry. Nothing I could do about the chair. Every chair I get makes that squeak for whatever reason. Older I get, the more I realize that 99% of women are all the same. There is no hope. No, I wouldn't say that. There are very few good ones left, but I'm going to be honest with you. I said something one time that made a woman pause, and I think it was like I stumbled across something. She goes, why is it so, why is it so hard to find a good man, blah, 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 blah. I said, wives get wifed up. I said, we're all left over here, right? So let's say if you're a single guy and you're out there looking for like wife material, they're wifed up. A woman that acts like a wife is wifed up. She has a man or a boyfriend. She has somebody. If she acts like a wife, if you act like a hoe, but then you get tossed around, you get used and abused, you get cheated on, and then you're like, why me, why me, why me? It's because you're not acting like a wife. So a lot of people are like, oh, like when I said that to that woman, she's just like, fuck, I'm like, yeah, do you act like men like women to act? Do you know what men like? Do you know what men like? Do you know how men like women to act? If you don't, that's why you're single. Don't bring up the tortas. I'll summon Phil Fez. Basically, just assume immediately if a woman has children and they're not active, they have a gunt or a spaghetti stomach, unfortunately. And look, I'm 47, so good luck finding a 25-year-old girl that doesn't want to do career shit, that wants to be like your chick, potentially get married and have a life together. Good luck. Not happening. You're going to end up with a woman 28 to 35 that wants a kid. And I don't want that either. So I'm like, all right, so I guess I got to have a girl that already has a kid that's a little older, that somehow stayed in shape. Good luck finding that. But there's always baggage and drama with that. The ex, the kid, because the kid's forever. And you're like, I'm never going to be number one in her eyes. Fuck all that. 10 drinks down. Did you carry her out of the restaurant? That's the crazy thing, Nardi. She was fine. She was like, she drove home. I'm like, I'm following you. It was wild. The dating channel. Just go there. Check it out. Your Cherokee. Okay. Gotcha. No, she never replied. She obviously saw that I was located in Florida and was like, I'm good on that whole situation. So back on the car thing. I don't know if Ford is all of a sudden going to ditch the efforts of the Green New scam. Look at what happened with windmills, right? Those things were hot and heavy for a very long time. And on the first Trump administration, he couldn't stop it because he didn't care to stop it. But now he's like, hey, I'm not going to run again, maybe. I'll just cut all this shit down. And you started seeing these things just kind of like die on their own. Look at what happens over in Massachusetts, over on the Cape or Martha's Vineyard, who knows, but somewhere on the coast, they put up a bunch of windmills. And now they're deteriorating. Now they're just kind of like, if a blade falls, it's this massive blade that falls in the water, and it has a bunch of fiberglass go all over the place. Good luck recovering any of that. It either sinks or floats into Bolivian, and a whale gets like, oh, just hanging out. Oh, the fucking blade. Let me see what's in it. And then they die because they want to check out what's in it. Or when they're building it, when they're in the middle of building the foundation for these things, they're jackhammering under the water, and the freaking dolphins are like, whoa, they beach themselves and die. Have you ever been like in a pool, get in, under the water, and then have someone tap on the side of the pool? It really carries the sound. So imagine you're jackhammering and all these crazy equipment is just making all this noise under the water, and all these whales are like, I'm out of here, and they just beach their shit because it's just. So now people are realizing, well, this is a scam. What are we going to do? So is Ford going to go all the way they're going to go all in on this dumb little truck that's like the Model T for trucks? Are people really needing a little EV truck that badly? That stuff already exists. Little tiny EV vehicles already exist. Model 3 Performances are used or $20,000. A Model 3 Performance, you see how the hatch opens? You can put a bunch of shit in the back. If you just want to get around town car to do errands and it's cheap, you just throw tires in it all the time and make sure and you hope the battery doesn't go to shit. You can get into a Model 3, a base one, or a Performance for like under 30 used. Easily. You can get into a Model S Plaid for under 60. That is a low 9-second car. So why would you go, well, you know what I need? I need this modular skateboard style truck that is super modular. Nobody's asking for that. Like, Who asked for this product? Please, what focus group did you look at Ford and say, we need a modular skateboard style truck to be able to change? Nobody asked for that. And I know what they'll say. Nobody asked for the Model T. Yes, they did. The moment people started seeing that there's a way of getting around better than clip-clop shitting on your face every block, yeah, I want that. It's just too expensive. Electric cars aren't expensive anymore. So why is Ford going all in on this skateboard style truck thing nobody is asking for? You know what people are asking for? V8 SUVs. If Ford made a Coyote equipped Bronco or full size like Excursion or full size Bronco or an Explorer or Expedition, would you buy a Coyote Expedition? I would. In a heartbeat. Tonight. I wouldn't like the 10R80. I drove Jake's truck all week. It made me hate the 10R80. But I came up with a shift schedule that I really like. But it's extending the gears. So I'm like, I basically made this 10R80 feel like Donnie's 6R80. So basically, it gives you about 4 shifts up until about 60 miles an hour. And then it just goes ba 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 ba. And it stacks after 65 miles an hour all the way to 10th gear. But first through 5th happen under 60 miles an hour, but I extend the gears. From the factory, they go boo 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 ba 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 ba. Stupid. So I changed it up. I said, this feels good to me. It's like a sports shift schedule. And it feels exactly like my 6R80. So I said, if I'm going to buy a new vehicle and it has a 10-speed, I have to change the shift schedule or buy one that doesn't have a 10-speed. Did you see that? Look at what happened with Dodge. Dodge fucked up. Dodge put a V8 back in there at 1500 and it's slower than a Coyote F-150. A stock Coyote F-150 is not fast. And this is why I said the Hurricane was a better engine at the end of the day. But when it comes to SUVs, the American public love big. And you know how many Cadillac Escalade Vs I see here? Cadillac Escalade Vs are like regular traffic cars here in Palm Beach County. I see like 30. And not the shitty ones, the supercharged ones. And I'm like, boy, or the older ones that have a 600 horsepower package to them, which is what, like a TVS blower on it from the factory. It has a little 600 badge in the back. So my Cadillac is one of the rarest you can find. NA, nothing done to it. Here in Palm Beach County, they all have a 600 horsepower badge or a V badge on it, and they're all the Billy Badass ones. So if Ford was like, fuck my ass, Elon Musk, can I make What do I need to make? I think the general public will buy. The best-selling vehicle you have is a F-150. So you don't think if you shove the Coyote motor in an Expedition, you don't think that's going to be a good seller? And then you make an SVT version of that. Just like Chevy does. Chevy has an Escalade, then an Escalade V. You could have a Navigator. And a is there a black label? No, there's no performance. There is no performance Lincoln. So imagine having a Navigator and a race version of a Navigator. Like a R. Navigator R. You don't think people will buy that? You don't think people will buy a Navigator and a Navigator R or an Expedition and an Expedition R? A Coyote equipped just like the F-150, and then open up the tuning just like the F-150. I guarantee people will absolutely buy that thing. But no, they're out there making skateboard trucks for $30,000, skateboard EV trucks for $30,000. Crazy. The problem nowadays is pricing. Here we go. No, it's not. Shut the fuck up about price. The sports car is not owed to poor people. The sports car is not owed to people that make average money. That's why you get average cars. The sports car is for people that have money. Well, let's look back at Cobra. Cobra back in 2003 was $38,000 to $40,000. And a GT was what, 20 something? And that's that era's money. $40,000, that's what people made in a year. So now, people make $100,000 a year. GT500 is $100,000. This weird narrative of, it's too expensive. This car's not for you, bro. Sports cars are not for you, bro. Sorry. The BMW M Series 2, 3, 4, whatever the fuck they got, had its best sales in the last couple of years ever. And those things are $80,000. I'm blown away that people still use this narrative of they're too expensive. They're too expensive. Shut the fuck up. If you're poor, sports cars, modern sports cars, are not for you. There's 2 valves, 3 valves, Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3 Coyotes. Buy one of them motherfuckers. But why did BMWs have their best years in a long time? The M series had their best years ever. And they're $80,000 cars. Y'all talking this, well, it's what you get for the money. Don't buy it. Buy the previous generation. I can afford a new Mustang. Do I want one? I don't think there's an upside. I look at the new Mustang, I'm like, I don't think there's an upside between a 18 to 20 versus, in terms of performance. Now, you want to look a certain way? You want to be up on the latest and greatest? I get that. I don't care. I have 3 Gen 1s. Sports cars are a luxury item, not for people who make minimum wage. The BMW M Series for the 24 model year debunks price is the problem argument. I go to the gym right now. There are at least, I'll be honest with you, 10 M Series cars out there. 2s, 3s, 4s, G80 this, G80, you know. How, on average, how old are the kids? 20 to 25. That's the hot car. It's mommy's money. Nope. These kids come in dirty as fuck from the construction site. Look, one of the best things you could do in life is pay attention. Pay attention. Okay, just look around. And don't ask me fucking muffler questions, okay? This isn't a fucking muffler channel. Go to that dude in blue. A muffler, he's asking. Top 3 muffler, he says. So, top 3 muffler. When I am at the gym, I observe. And a lot of you guys are like not spatially aware of your surroundings. And I am blown away by that, by someone that is not aware of the surroundings. Pay fucking attention. So I'm usually on the treadmill for 20 minutes, right? I upped my game on the cardio side. I wanna get these things on look, skin to skull. That's what I'm looking at. So I see a guy roll up and he got construction boots. He looks nasty as fuck, and his shirt says HVAC. So that means he's been on a roof, on a ceiling somewhere, removing insulation and putting in conduit and putting in a air handler and moving this stuff around, and he looks like shit, right? Goes to the locker room, comes out, has his gym attire, busts out his work. I go outside, and I'm like, he just got in a BMW M3 G80 motherfucker. And I went, it ain't the price. It's what you get for the price. So I'm like, this motherfucker came from a construction deal, probably works in, some kind of HVAC, because if you live in Florida, you want a secure job. You go get into landscaping or HVAC, period, or construction. Crazy construction here. Palm Beach County, not Okeechobee, right? So I'm like, oh, so these young guys are buying the hot shit. It ain't a Mustang. There's tons. There's either motorcycles, G80s, M2s, nice shit. And these guys look blue collar. So stop saying that it's the price. Right, well, Alex, what are your top 3 resonator deleters? Alex, what's the best muffler for my car?
We have an MBRP
resonator deleter.
Oh, this isn't a muffler chat. A muffler chat. These motherfuckers muffler. What muffler do you got? Coyote Expedition or Explorer comes out and I'll get the wife one the day they get them at the dealership. Expedition. God damn it. Ford Expedition. Images. You telling me this bitch with a Coyote, you wouldn't buy it? Tonight. TVS. 11-2. Pump gas. All fucking day. Nope. You guys put a bitch ass EcoBoost in this thing. You think this thing with a V8 would not sell? Close enough. Huh? Right? I'll roll up to next to this mother. Let's go. Yeah. That is hot shit. That's hot shit. Why? Does it look great? Nah. But I know it's got a supercharged V8 in it. Bro. But no. I think the Expedition looks good. Expedition. Navigator. Navigator. That blue one. Right? Yeah. V8 Navigator. Right? Oh, you wouldn't buy a V8 Navigator? You wouldn't buy a V8 Navigator.
We have an MBRP resonator deleter.
Huh? Stop it. Give me that. No. Ford with their bullshit. Fuck out of here. Focus group. First thing I would do. V8 Navigator. Hi. Fuck my ass, Elon Musk. V8 Navigator. V8 Expedition. And then you make an Expedition R. Well, that's going to be 100. People will buy it. People are stupid. They'll buy it. I'll buy it. Imagine a tow rig. A Toto smasher. The Cadillac has seen his fair share of Toto in that third row. So imagine a fast Toto smasher I can tow my car to the track with and maybe gap a couple of fools on the way, to Publix. No. Let's get a, we really need to build a skateboard styled truck with electric infrastructure that's modular, so that but it'll be the Model T of electric vehicles. China's doing it. Stupid. I wonder what Ford's stupid reasoning for not putting the Coyote in everything. Hello, McFord. You hearing this? Bro, I'm telling you. This is the peasant chat, not the poor chat or the brokey chat. This ain't a muffler chat. This is a muff chat. What is your thoughts on the EcoBoost? You want to make me crash the fuck out. You talked about the last episode, but fasting will help you tone your face, for at least it does. I do 24-hour fast every Saturday, and it totally helped with my face getting chubby. Yeah, I agree. I do intermittently fast, but it's probably every other week, not every Saturday. Fuck all that. Alex, what's your opinion on locking lug nuts versus Alex, get top 3 mufflers. And Dude in Blue's like, whoa, that's a great subject. I think boilers suck my dicks are like top tier because like these podcasts, all right, top 3 cars, money, no object, go. Fuck you. Dylon, Fox body. Oh, that's stupid. Your stupid question gets a stupid answer. Would probably sell more fleet to the feds too. The guy rolled up in a TRX. Where is it? Fuck, I already had it. I thought I had it. The guy rolled up in a TRX to get the Koreans. He's like, I'm gonna get a Korean. I think what you're seeing right now is current Ford leadership had already kissed the ring of the previous administration, and they're now trying to get a return on that investment. Exactly. It's the leftover green scam, and they're like, well, we put in $3 billion, but they gave us $5 billion in guaranteed loans, so we need to get something out of it. Get ready for just I don't see the end of a conservative administration now that USAID went to shit. So USAID was literally a slush fund for like riots. So now that that's gone, they have no real way of pushing their agenda across by like burning cities down. Now Bobby Trump's going to go into Chirac, and he's like, what's the name of that? If I was Trump, I would have these things. Every vehicle pushing out this song as they show up to Chicago to clean it up. Because they're like, hey, you guys fucked around and you guys thought you were I'm gonna send the National Guard. I'm gonna send the Marines, the Navy. I mean, we're gonna have just things hovering all over Chirac, and we're gonna clean this motherfucker up because you guys haven't done shit in what, a bazillion years? So it's time to clean this shit up right now. Let's go. Like a tank pushing out that song while we clean up the streets. So once this administration is like 2 years in or 3 years in, Ford is like, we're still trying to make money on the previous administration's guaranteed loans because they couldn't stop that ball going downhill. And they're like, we need to keep pumping out these stupid fucking trucks like the wheels were turning. Nope. I think it's perfect for you to stop this shit. Stop the shenanigans, because the amount of money and time you are going to waste trying to appease an administration that's not there anymore, as opposed to fuck it, eon.
I want to get back into making street race cars, especially ones you can't tune for shit. 12-second stick shift Mustangs are fast enough. For my next trick, I'll make the Mustang a compact truck. We'll call it the Cuckstang.
Hey!
Since the drift stick is a hit, we'll include it in everything we sell. F-350s, F-150s, everything. Fuck it. EL.
Eow, exactly.
Since the drift stick is a hit, we'll include it in everything we sell. F-350s, F-150s, everything. Fuck it. EL. We can't sell these pieces of shit to the public, so we'll let our UAW dickheads buy it. Hopefully. We all know we're the last V8 left. We were never the fastest. And Dodge pushed our shitting all the way out of our mouths, which we actually liked because we're
gay. Wait, I should let him go.
We're the last V8 left. We were never the fastest. And Dodge pushed our shitting all the way out of our mouths, which we actually liked because we're gay.
I am building a spaceship so I can launch Ford vehicles where they are most useful. To Uranus.
Okay.
We all know we're the last.
Wait, this
left.
is great.
I am building a spaceship so I can launch Ford vehicles where they are most useful. To Uranus.
Here at Ford, we're innovators. First, we make slow NAA Mustangs. Then we got rid of the shifter in the GT500. We are happy to announce your driver's seat will have a dildo with sensors so that when you squeeze your asshole, it will cause the car to upshift, and the feedback from the shitster will make you. And I could go for a stiff glass of anal sex right now. Take my ass, Elon Musk. I'd like to introduce everyone to my new head of product and design. And since I'm number one, he's my number two. Everyone help me give a warm introduction to Turvy.
Turvy. Oh, man, sometimes you have like flashes of brilliance, and those were some of the funniest things I wrote. Remember, I have to write all that. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's where my talent is, honestly. I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not the most well-read guy. I'm funny. I'm 100% fucking funny. What's that smell? I love this show. Take my ass, Elon Musk. Like how he goes, Yeah. I'm here for all the bullshit. My favorite car show isn't a car show. Yeah. Jim Farley wants to fart out his shoes now. Oh, brother, the whole oh. So that reminded me. Now that you said fart on shoes, we can end the last 15 minutes on this. Why are people still buying Steve Morris motors? So somebody mentioned to me that, unfortunately, Adam LZ had an issue with a Steve Morris motor. So, do you have to check the lash? Like, okay, let's say you have a 6, maybe it's because it's a 1,000 horsepower big block. Okay, solid roller, da-da-da-da-da. Just give me a hydraulic roller version of that. Just give me a hydraulic roller so I don't have to pull the valve covers every fucking time I do something. Like, oh yeah, you know, you're gonna have to pull you have to go ahead and pull the valve covers off and just check the lash before and after. What? Well, I don't understand this. So Adam LZ had an issue with his big block drift motor from Steve Morris. Big surprise, had overheating issues, and now it has like a ticking problem and the valve lash and the water. And I'm just like, you don't understand. Why do you see these results and then go back and say, maybe my results will be different? Right? I've seen so many engine failures in the Coyote game that I don't say to people, don't buy this. I say to people, buy this, right? So when I say, get an illuminator if you want to make up to 1,000 horsepower, get an FFRE motor if you want to make more than that. Full stop. There's nothing else to say. What about shh? What about this? Shh. What about that? Shh. Up to, as a matter of fact, sub 900 stock motor. Gen 2 or Gen 3. Sub 900. Stock. Long block. Up to 1,000. A little more. Illuminator. Ford Racing. Illuminator. Hell, I think the guy will actually sign who built the motor at PAS. Performance Assembly Solutions. Which is Ford's outsourced engine assembly facility. Then you say, well, I want to step it up. You call Joe Irwin. No. Yeah. Or one of their dealers and say, I want a stage 3 deal, street car, high horsepower, stage 3 deal. Oh, I want to race and push people's shit in. I got money, stage 4 deal. Voodoo heads, Predator heads, whatever cam you want, aluminum rods, the whole shit. Based on 10 years of tuning cars and seeing people's experience in the most busy Coyote tuning company that exists on planet Earth, I, Alejandro Flores, am telling you, illuminator, stock motor, illuminator, or FFRE. Any other question above and beyond that, you guys are psycho. Some local numbnuts literally took the springs out of the factory hydraulic lifters on the LSA because he watched Steve Morris and says, it'll ram higher. Now we're building his engine after his fiasco. So it can't be out of spec after each run. What the fuck does KVNG? Is that like a weird ghetto of saying king? Is that the NA motor that made coolant pressure? How the fuck do you do that? Check the lash before and after each event to keep track of wear to make sure it doesn't blow up. Right. Hey, you know what you should do? I'm going to sell you this $45,000 to $55,000 motor, right? And then what I'm going to do is going to have you pull the valve cover when you start it in the morning, check the lash. What? Yeah, just check the lash. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, now it's gonna go up to 180 degrees of water temperature, and you're gonna go ahead and check the lash again. You want me to check the lash out? Yeah, because the parts grow. The parts grow. Thermal expansion. Okay. This one's fucked up. Oh, yeah, it's a lifter issue. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. You're making metal? You're making metal? Just run it. Change the filter. That white M3, without a doubt, yes. Okay, what's happening? Halloween, what a BT daily idea. Do short segment as Steve Morris. No, that's the quickest way to get sued. I don't think his engine is made for drifting. Not defending Steve at all. He wanted to try big block. I 100% understand. Drifting is living in the high RPM range and making popping and burbling sounds. You get yourself a Jap motor. You get yourself a Jap turbo motor and let it sing up there. You want to do tractor truck pulls? You want to tow a boat? You want to drag race? You get yourself a big block or, a big cubic inch push rod motor. But this weird thought process of like, let me get this big block in a car that makes, that lives in the high RPMs. I don't understand it. Junior got my Gen 3 stock motor to sing over 950 horsepower on Baby V3. He's awesome. How much do you think the herpes man paid for that motor? Just first Steve, probably $40K. Alex, next time you have a girl over, give her your Steve Morris shirt to take home. Oh, thank God. I even have the hat. Y'all want that? I'll do that in a giveaway. I'll give that shit away. And again, I don't dislike him. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And you guys, you influencers and you YouTubers are like, well, let me get one. No. Steve Morris acts like his stuff is top fuel. And again, he's a talented guy and whatever, but I'm good. Like, you know what blows me away is that Lee Car Parts, whatever the hell, he does a lot of engine swaps lately. He had a Z06 that had a Steve Morris motor in it, an LS. And he put twin turbos in it and it made like 1100, which is stock Coyote. Stock Coyote. Could you imagine? Whoa, this thing's got a 416 or a 409 or a 406 or whatever the fuck it's got. Forged everything. Let's do Holly, twin turbos, meth, or E85. Custom, whoop, 1100 horsepower, stock Coyote numbers with boost and fuel. Could you imagine if Steve started messing with Coyotes? Oh my Lord. He would never. He would never. All Steve's motors need some remote start buttons under the hood. Right. Well, what you get with my motor is one of these things. What's this? Well, this is a bump starter. What's that for? To check your lash. Duh. To check your lash. Anything solid roller, you'll be checking lash often. Adam LZ is just a drift cletus. Exactly. I would have been like, wait a minute. How much horsepower am I sacrificing? Full hydraulic roller versus solid roller. 100. Cool. I'll lose that 100. From 900 to 1,000? Yeah, I'm not going to know the difference in a drift application. So put the hydraulic roller in it. Put the hydraulic roller in it so I never have to open these valve covers. I'll crack them open and check lash. Steve Morris goes on dates with Kyle Loftus. Stop it, he doesn't. That dude in blue versus YWT at Misfits Boxing Book. Come on, man. I don't dislike him at all. I don't dislike him. Why would I want to box him? He seems like a nice kid. I'm not about bullying. It's weird. LS versus Coyote haven't asked. Yeah, and the LS versus Coyote argument is still stupid, right? The motor, whatever the fuck they're calling the motor. The people that are doing the competition between the LS and the Coyote, I don't want to talk about it much because I know what's going to happen. Coyote's going to horsepower? Coyote's going to take it. The truck shit? I don't know. And then the LS guys are going to be mad. Why did you put it up against a 5.3? Why'd you put it up against a 6.2? 4 cams. Turbo's too small. We call it the Lone Wolf. Steve Morris could. Hey, did you see Stan Killer video on the twin turbo Coyote boat? Nope. 100 horsepower versus checking lash all the time. 100 horsepower. Are you willing to sacrifice and an NA application, 100 horsepower, to never worry about the lash. He's still a kid, bro. 35 is still a kid. To me, I'm 47. To you, if you're 40 or if you're 20, yeah, to you, he's an old man. But to me, he's a kid. Are you going to watch the Canelo fight? Yeah, it's on Netflix, for sure. Of course. Who isn't going to watch the Canelo fight? I got to watch the Canelo fight because a lot of people don't know what's going to happen.
Hey, get the fuck out of here because I'm going to fuck you out right now, motherfucker.
Or did that?
He tried to steal money, and he's a fucking asshole. That's what I say. He's a fucking asshole. He tried to keep the attention for him, not for Munguia. He's a fucking asshole. He steals his fighters. That's what he do. Fucking pussy. Motherfucker.
All right.
You want, I'm here for you too, motherfucker.
That guy, I didn't realize how much money Canelo has. Canelo doesn't have fuck you money. Canelo has chinga tu puta madre money. Like, that guy has money. He goes to a watch store, and the guy's like, puts a watch on him. He goes, that's 1.4 million. He goes, I take it.
Hey, get the fuck out of here because I'm going to fuck you out right now, motherfucker.
Hey, you put it on my hand, and I got to take it. 1.4 million. I punched Crawford in his dreadlocks, and they come out. Accent changed. Jay, he wears them on dates. I argue with my coworker about how Coyote is such a great engine, stock for stock, with boost and fuel compared to the most engines. And when I show the proof, he can only say, it's a Ford response. Can you imagine needing a 1,000 horsepower car to not win based on speed or lapse time when 250 EGP AE86 were beating Vipers and FD Inception? What the fuck did you just... You know what? You know how I know you have like class 8 herpes in your asshole? That sentence. What the fuck? Could you imagine needing a 1,000 wheel horsepower car to not win based on speed or lapse time when the 250 EGP AE86 were beating Vipers back in Inception? Wow. My brother won't get an F-150, but on his third build transmission and his second LS engine, shaking my head, sucks how trucks keep breaking and he hasn't even hit over 500 horsepower in the Silver. 1.4 million. 1.4. Mira. Bro, he's like, put it on my hand, man. I take it. I take it. Canelo buys watch. Is that 1.4 million? Here you go. Here you go, Jay. I fucking went to the store and he fucking put it on my thing and that's it.
Really love it, yeah.
How much is that one?
It's a little bit more expensive. This is 550,000.
How much is this?
900,000.
Yeah, I want this one.
Do you want to take it with you now or
Si.
send it to you?
No, now.
Okay, 900,000 and this 1 million.
Give me that one too.
This is my
Oh.
crazy watch. $1.4 million.
I have $1.4 million in my hand. I want this one too.
Okay.
Right? It's very hard to don't say that. Give me that one.
I am so happy for this guy. You know, he's an inspiration, bro. I'm sorry. The guy, how can you hate Canelo? Hey, you put it in my hand, 1.4 million, and I buy it. It's okay. I want that one too. Go to Netflix right now. Watch the lead up. Watch the lead up to the Canelo and Crawford fight. Canelo has fuck you money. Dude, he got these horses that look wild as shit. He's got a whole ranch, and you should see his cars. You should see. The dude loves Shelby. He has a Shelby Mustang, a Shelby Troquita. He got the Raptor R, the Harley. The dude is a car dude. He's an everything dude. He loves cars. And I'm like, how can you not like that guy? And he's wildly successful. Great fighter. I'm like, I'm a fan. I'm a Canelo fan. Fuck all that. I want him to knock the dreads off of Crawford. But my problem is, I've seen Crawford fight, and the dude is mean. He's a... If he gets hit and gets mad, they're standing toe-to-toe and fighting. But if they stand toe-to-toe and fighting, my money's on Canelo. If he moves around and stuff, I'll Crawford. If Crawford is smart like he did Errol Spence, he did Errol Spence dirty. But if he's going to stand in the middle of the ring and throw hooks, Canelo's going to knock his wig right off. Rappers do the same at watch stores, and then I take it, they run out the door. Nice. I did some homework. I found these series of casting numbers that designate the roller cam 351 Windsor block. Then I bought one to build for my Fox body. Smart. How much do you foresee the Chevy C8 C06 going for used market within the next year or two? 80? 85? I told everyone that's not the car to get. And be like, oh, you're stupid. You don't know nothing about flat plane crank. Now they got stop sale orders and people are like, this thing sucks. E-Ray or Z01 is the one to get. All right, guys, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll be back on Tuesday. We'll hang out then a little bit for Talking Shit Tuesday. Good show today. A lot of subject matters to carry on. We talked about the Hyundai Battery plant getting hit by ice because they had a 300 plus South Korean workers there illegally through subcontractors. Then we talked about how the Green New scam still has like a leftover effect because they're still working under those administrations, just like Craig Wall said. They're trying to get a return on investment on previous stuff. But the problem is this administration ain't playing that shit. So you might see a lot of write-offs happen because they need to be in this administration's favor, because I don't see this administration or this type of administration wavering in the next 12 years or so, unless people absolutely lose their shit or a civil war happens. So it'll be interesting to see if Ford reconfigures their plan. We talked about a V8 Expedition or a V8 Navigator. White people aren't doing that. We talked about fake belly buttons. And then we wrapped it up with Canelo buying a $1.4 million watch. Good times as always. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Talking Shit Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Have a good rest of your Sunday. I'll see you guys later. Bye.